Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of MidRank Madness for your Friday. Today it's going to be a 2v2 on Shrines of Lizul. It's going to be holy smokes, I can't even do this, you guys. We're going to call him Bull. And Zergling Rush versus Azul Squadron and Hero Shan. See how easy that is to read? Bull-Miolgia. Holy smokes, that name. Anyway, we got the Red Terran player here, Azul Squadron. His teammate, did I say blue? Red. Red Terran player, Azul Squadron. Blue Terran player, Hero Shan. The purple Zerg player, Zergling Rush. And the blue, teal. We'll call it Teal Protoss player, Bull. That is a hard name to say. I don't know who's pinging over here necessarily, but anyway, it's going to be 2v2 action here on Shrines of Lizul. And actually taking the gold early is Zergling Rush. I kind of like this. Somicron and I play 2v2 on ladder over at twitch.tv/FalconPaladin 3 times a week. It is in the evenings in America time, so I understand it's not great for most parts of the world. It's kind of like morning Korea, but I don't know how many watchers I have in that part of the world necessarily. Anyway, the point is, we play a lot on this map, and we generally, I don't know, it's kind of hit and miss. You know how sometimes you play on maps a lot and you have a feel as to how good you do versus how poorly you do, and it's just a feeling, right? And I feel like we win games on this map, we lose games on this map. It's very short rush distance, which you think would be good because we both play Zerg, but everybody prepares for it, and so it's really hard to get a Baneling bust off and like straight up kill somebody without, you know, their teammate coming to help them, because they're not that far away either. It's actually a pretty short distance to wander over and give them some assistance. Anyway, I gotta start taking this gold base faster as Zerg, just because it's nice. It's nice to have that early income. I've done it a couple times, and I'm always surprised by how fast my mineral income in bank starts to grow. And you can do a lot with a lot of minerals as Zerg. Somebody is pinging so hard right now. Overlord comes in for Zergling Rush and does scout that there's a barracks coming up. Triple barracks here from Hero Shan. Okay, so we're going to do something aggressive here from both these players. It is just 3 barracks. That's a factory. That's a factory, and that's a factory. Okay, so it's going to be pressure here from Hero Shan, and then his teammate Azul is going to go ahead and try to get some other stuff done as well. So Reaper comes in. That pool is done. There's a queen on the way, but the Zerglings are not quite here yet. The drones really shouldn't be doing this, but this is mid-rank madness. This is you just losing all of your drones for no reason. Where the heck are the Lings at? Oh my gosh, they're taking forever to build. There we go. So 2 Lings pop out to help, and one of the Reapers is gonna is gonna get picked off there. But a lot of drones getting picked off there too. Zergling rushes down to 18 drones. Not where he wants to be. He's behind everybody else right now. Some stalkers do wander over. Those are some really good looking stalkers. Wow. That is some pretty colors there for sure. Does he have anything to defend back on his base if he gets right? If he sends his guys across the map? It doesn't look like it, but it looks like he's okay as well. Scouting in at the 3-minute mark to see what's going on. And it's definitely going to be tanks. It's going to be tanks. It's going to be tanks. And it's going to be Marines out of Azul Squadron. Bull's doing a great job on the other side. He's got expansion coming in. He's got some stalkers out to deal with that early pressure from the Terran. And so far, teams are working together. They're working together pretty darn well. I mean, in fairness, Red and Blue aren't working together, but that's because there's really nothing there for Azul to support his team with necessarily on that early attack. That was just Reapers. They did some good work, and that was it. Then they were forced to go back home. Alright, so Stalkers pushing in from Bull. Stalkers trade pretty well against Reapers, but not tanks. Not at all tanks. So Speedlings are out for Zergling Rush. You can get a surround on those guys without taking that tank fire. That might be worth it, but no, not actually moving out of the range of the tank quite far enough. There is Hero Shan. He's just making Mass Reaper is what he's doing. And generally, you can defend against this with a Mass Zergling. Ravagers trade pretty well with them too, with the range that they have. Ooh, here come the Lings. The Lings are going to miss the Reapers, and the Lings miss each other here. Where are you even going with this? Oh, you're trying to find them in the middle of the map. Okay, fair enough. So trying to get a couple of them, but most of them managed to escape and hop up here into the main base of Zergling Rush. They're going to take down a queen. That queen is toast. Actually running away pretty smart. Does manage to stay alive there, and then hopping back on down. The control on the Reapers is pretty good here from Hero Shan. And he just heads on back home. Is he really doing nothing but Reapers here? No, he is making a factory. He is teching up, which is good. You really can't win these games on straight up Reaper play. A lot of Banelings coming up from a Zergling Rush, expanding behind it too. Pretty fantastically done. We do have tanks in production from Azul Squadron. And here we go. Stalkers Immortals. Stalker Immortal is pretty much Reaper Kryptonite. They really can't do much against that at all. A lot of things are Reaper Kryptonite. As the longer the game goes on, the worse they're going to be here for Hero-Shan, which is why he is actually going for, again, factories and expansions. And is he even making any more of these Reapers? I think he might just be done with the Reapers that he has. Ugh. Okay, so 2 Immortals, maybe, but this is a lot of tank from Squadron. Holy smokes, that's a lot of tanks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tanks out. Protecting pretty well. These Lings cruising on in. Banelings on the high ground. Yes, thank you for pinging. Appreciate that. Really greatly appreciated. And, oh, a Reaper gets picked off. The Lings pull back in time so they don't actually take tank fire. That's pretty good control there from Zergling Rush. All right, so we're kind of settling into a more standard game here. 3 bases for the Zerg, 2 bases for the Protoss. This seems like a fair and equitable arrangement. Now, what are you going to? There's a lair here for Zergling Rush. The Simulant buildings are pretty amazing. Simulant Extractor looks pretty fantastic. I like it. I like it quite a bit. So just trying to use Zerglings to go ahead and buy him the time to tech up to whatever he needs all this gas for. He's got 4 extractors. He is sitting on about 200 gas right now, and that's going to continue to rise. But Zergling Stalker Immortal's not going to get through this. I really... Well, if there were enough. If there was enough Zergling Stalker Immortal, you could probably get through this. The Stalkers would be largely useless, but I don't know. Maybe if the Lings were taking fire, then they could actually focus fire down some of these tanks. But now there are Widow Mines in the mix here. Squadron is going mech in a 2v2, which we've seen before, Samacron and I have, and it's kind of hard to break, as it turns out. Oh, did they try to hop up there? Someone tried to hop up there. Who was it? Oh, these guys. These guys are like, mwah, blah. We're just hanging out, talking, shooting the breeze. Oh, we got orders to move on in, and that worked out. That worked out pretty well. So I think that's it. Is that it for Reapers from Hero-Shan? Yes, he's got a tank, a Marauder, and 13 Marines. He does not have an army right now, but again, he's being protected pretty well by his teammate, who has all the tanks in the world. Is he getting drilling claws? Tell me all these Widow Mines are getting drilling claws. There's nothing yet. They don't have the telltale laser at this stage, so that's problematic. It is going to be a Spire, though. Spire for Zergling Rush, which I don't know that I necessarily agree with here from the Zerg player, just because there are missile turrets and there are Marines and there are Widow Mines, and all of these things are Zergling just Kryptonite. They are Mutalisk Kryptonite in particular. Zergling Kryptonite, too, except for the turrets, I guess. But we're going to go for some Baneling drops over here, Zergling Rush. I'm liking it. I'm loving it. Robotics Bay on the way from Bull. And what is Hero-Shan doing? Just Marine Tank, it looks like. Marine Tank all the live long day. He's throwing up a 3rd command center here, too. Kind of hanging out with his army is Bull, making more Immortals. Maybe going for Disruptor. Disruptor versus these tanks could be all right. Colossus, not really what you want in this situation. And here come the Baneling drops, though. Speed Overlords. Oh, man. I don't think they got a single Baneling unloaded. That was horrible. And then trying to attack in here at the same time. Nope. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Everybody's gonna die. Yeah. No. No. That was a Noperoni still making mutas. Is Zergling Rush. I don't know what else you do, though, I guess. Maybe rush to Broodlord would be pretty good, but we're only 8 minutes into this game, and there was some pressure early, so it's hard to attack up to Broodlord that fast. Cyril could do it. Cyril could do it. Sue could do it. I mean, any number of really high-level Zerg players could pull it off, but that's not where we are. This is mid-rank madness instead. So he is going for extended thermal lance and Colossus is Bull. I'm not sure I agree with this at all from him. More and more tanks being produced by Mr. Squadron. Gold base being taken by Squadron 2. And a 4th base on the way from the Zerg. Another gold. Zerg, you are going to have so much income. So much income here. And he does. He's got a ginormous army. 113 compared to 80, 80, and 82 for everybody else in the game right now. But this Baneling Muta thing is not going to work against the mech that Squadron is tossing out. That said, there aren't a lot of tanks here. There's only 1 Widow Mine here. There's a bunker, I guess. This might be a better time for you to go. Do your Lings have upgrades? And they do have 1-1, which I'm very proud of. 2-2 coming up for Zergling Rush as well. Where are my Colossus? You're making Colossus. Or you're making Zenithermal Lance anyway. You don't have Colossus yet. Hero-Shan is taking a third base of his own, another gold, so sharing the gold quite nicely are the Terran players right now. Just making more and more Zerglings. Is he waiting for 2-2? That might be nice. Might be nice to wait for 2-2 before he moves on in there. We will have to wait and see. Third base warping in for Bull, just outside of his main, but it's a long walk distance, as we can see these probes long distance mining there. And oh snap, Hero-Shan found it. Hero-Shan found the third base. It is really hard to defend this because it's so far away by ground. There's the cancel. Trying to go up and deal with it. Widow Mines, missile turrets firing on everything. Zergling Rush gets the heck on out of there. He does not like what he sees at all. He needs to saturate this base, get up to, what, say, 70, 80 workers, and get to Broodlord. It'd be so good to be getting up to Broodlord here. So he's checking for additional expansions from anybody from Team Red and Blue, Team Captain America here. Not really working out, though. Nothing to see, anyway. The scouting worked out just fine, but there was just literally nothing to find there at all. Coming in for another drop. Same drop, actually, from Hero-Shan, dropping inside the main base. And problematic. Muta's harassing at the same time at Hero-Shan's base down south. A recall. Wow, these guys are dead. But the army gets recalled home. The medevac is picked off as well. Mutalisk taking out that missile turret. That should not happen. Those SCVs should have been able to repair that up. But these are Mutalisks with decent upgrades. They do have +1 flyer attack at this stage of the game is pretty good. Liberator getting splash damage out double. Nope, Liberator Viking getting splash damage out and recognizing that get out while the getting's good. Another one of the medevacs does manage to escape, taking shots from these from the Queen, and Muta's coming up to try to deal with this too, and that's going to be enough to shut that thing down. All right, so both players getting some damage done here through drops and through harassment. I don't know if we have losses. We have resources lost here. Team Joker, that's going to be our purple and teal. 9,000 total resources lost compared to 5,000 total lost for Azul Squadron and Hero-Shan, our Captain America team. All right, I don't know if Ling Bling Muta is what we want to be doing here, as there are now Thors out, and Thors just chew Mutalisks to pieces, even with the nerf. Even where the splash of their anti-air javelin missile attack has been nerfed and it's smaller than it used to be, it's still really, really important that you have that. Colossus ready to rock. Immortals on the ground too. Zealots for Bull. Expanding again is Hero-Shan in the top left-hand corner. This is a pretty good team. Their expansion timings are pretty fantastic here. And are we just maxed out? Zergling Rush is maxed out. And the next closest person is 133, Mr. Azul Squadron, our meching player. Actually, Mutalisks harassing down here again. There are more missile turrets this time. But, you know, going to try to pick off some supply depots. Maybe try... Oh, not enough. You cannot repair fast enough here. He's trying to repair fast enough, but yep. Losing supply depots, and that's just too many Mutalisks is what it is. That is a huge number of Mutas. 31 Mutas. Do they have the +2 now, Falcon? By golly, they do have +2 flyer attack, making them that much more effective and that much scarier. Colossus actually trying to deal with some of these buildings from the low ground to the high ground. Not usually a great position to be in here, but pushing out by himself a little bit as Azul Squadron. I don't know if you want to do that, man. I'm not convinced that's what you want to do. Meanwhile, another drop from Hero-Shan inside the main base. Another recall to wipe it out. But a lot of people do manage to get out inside those medevacs. And by a lot, I mean some. More drops here from Hero-Shan. But this time, no, nobody's escaping from that particular drop. Pushing out now is Azul Squadron. Coming up to the second gold base of Zergling Rush. He's got Marines and he's got Thors. A big swell of Zerglings should be able to handle this thing. The Marines are at 1-1 at the 13-minute mark, which is a little bit late, but they do end up getting the hatch. Where are the ground units? Here they are. Go save your base. What are you doing right now? There is a Liberator setting up, but you have Mutas. Is he going counterattack? All right, fine. I guess. Okay, bring in a couple Mutas to absorb those shots. Firing on top. The Banelings exploding on the Thors. Not exactly the best use of those guys. As it turns out, Zergling's clearing out some of these missile turrets at the front, shutting those things down. The Protoss army continuing to march on in and deal damage to the Thors, to the tanks. The tank count is plummeting right now for Azul Squadron. Nicely done by both. We coming in with more Lings cruising in to try to help with this thing too. Actually, taking Widowmine shots. Might have actually helped them kill that tank. How are the tank upgrades right now? They are at +1 vehicle weapons, which is not too bad. And now the Protoss army pushing out maybe to try to find another base to kill. Killing the base of Hero-Shan's would be really, really good for him. He's only at 69 supply right now. He's half as much as anybody else. As the next closest person is Bull right now. He's been on 2 bases for 14 minutes, which is exactly what the problem is here. You know what? Don't get distracted. Wipe out this planetary fortress. You need to kill this base. Your enemies are on 3 and 4 bases, and you are on 2, Mr. Bull. 13 kills and 9 kills and 4 kills. So, I mean, they're kind of paying for themselves a little bit. Are these Colossus. But more Ling, more Baneling, more Mutalisk. Zergling Rush is still at 187 supply. He's got 26 Mutas, 41 Lings, and 8 Banelings. Some Archons moving out from Bull right now. Setting up with more Thors and Liberators and Marines in the center here for Azul Squadron. Pulling back a little bit gun shy here is Team Joker. You can wipe this out. You can hit hard and fast and wipe out this planetary fortress and then take down this base too, which you do not know exists. That is a problem. You don't know there's a base up there, and that is really hard to deal with. All right, so setting up Liberator spots. Liberator Defender modes here. Is this going to be our engagement? I feel like it is. Great Storm. Colossus lasering everything on the ground. Ultralisks have joined the party. I don't know if there are enough here. Oh, the Thor splash against the Muta is insane, driving them away. The Ultras are getting right on top of the Thors, but also getting wrecked by Liberator attacks, but still managing to get through. Walking back through the circles of doom. Not exactly what you want to do, but the Ultras are still alive here. Planetary Fortress does go down. Great Storm on those SCVs. The Protoss army engaging victorious along the left side. The gold base of Bull is gone. Oh, rather, of his Hiroshan is gone here. It is 127 and 61 supply compared to 112 to 82 supply. And, oh, they did actually end up scouting this Planetary Fortress some way, somehow. Ultralisk fighting. Lings fighting. The repair. Where's the repair? There's the repair, but it's too late, and another base ends up falling from Hiroshan. Hiroshan is now on 2 bases and not happy economically either. So far, so good. All right, here goes nothing. More Liberators coming in, desperately sending in tanks and Thors to stand against the onslaught. You know what? The Ultras are taking some serious shots from these tanks and these Thors. Colossus almost dead too. Goes down with 12 kills. No, still alive with 12 kills. Ultras fighting on in. The Protoss army a little bit slower than it is. All the Ultras get crushed right there. Colossus does get picked off by a Viking after get a ton of work done, but it's time to pull out for Bull. Still on 40 supply right now and not feeling good about himself at all. Decent storms against this Bile, but not enough to kill them, as they are sitting on 2-2 and can absorb a little bit more damage than they could previously. Although that actually doesn't help, right? Armor doesn't mitigate spell damage, so no, storms still kill them as much as if they are 0-0. Ultras trundling up to see if there are any additional bases we can kill here. Bull should have been expanding behind all that aggression, but was not, and now he is just not doing very well. He's sitting on 15 probes. Zergling Rush is on 54, Azul's on 60, and Hiroshan is at 56. Expanding over here is Azul Squadron, retaking his gold base is Zergling Rush, and taking another base on the right side, maybe, is Zergling Rush. And retaking the gold is Azul. Actually, Azul taking it away from Hiroshan. Hiroshan, you don't get bases. You get to be on 2 bases here. I am clearly the better player. If you want to expand, how about you float a command center way across the map? Actually, you're going to land it there. That's a weird place for it. Ultras and Lings are here, and the Protoss army, and this base of Azul Squadrons is in a lot of trouble. Does manage to escape, but it's not landing, and it's not providing income. This gold base, however, is providing income. This gold base by Zergling Rush is out. He's got his second gold base back, though, harvesting gas from it. It's mostly, he really needs the minerals, is what he needs. This is a 124 supply. Azul is sitting at 136, 57 and 88 for their teammates right now, which is not where you want to be. It's not a good number. Not a good number to be in at all. So nobody taking this top left base. There's an Overlord scouting it, scouting that placement. Alright, Lings, Ultralisks, trying to cruise on in here and do some work against this tank marine stuff. And kind of working. The Thors are putting in serious damage. The Liberators are just melting these Ultralisks. That is such a great composition against Ultras. Man, Thors and Liberators combined are pretty darn fantastic indeed. Long distance mining from this base right now is Hiroshan. Oh boy. Still running around. Bull Media. We got wow. Azul is taking a base up in the top section here. He is, wow, that is a really, really incredible place to take. That'd be like if Team North ended up taking this base right next to Hero Sean's. Again, it's a long way to go by foot, but if we set up tanks here, you can kind of wreck it if you try hard enough. Expanding in the bottom right now is Zergling Rush. We're going to see every base on this map taken, which is really good. It's a good sign for a good game when that happens. It just means that one team didn't just raffle stomp the other one, you know? All right, so Liberator's setting up here on the high ground of Bull's base. Bull is in a world of hurt. He hasn't expanded in what feels like 14 or 15 minutes. Vikings trying to harass here. No, absolutely not. Vikings versus Vipers. Pretty good. As it turns out, everybody getting away from that base entirely. Ugh, Viper exploded. The Vikings doing pretty good work against the air and against the ground here. I don't even know why these Liberators are here. Like, what are you doing exactly setting that up right there? I don't know. I don't actually know. All right, so man, Bull is just not, he's not holding up his part of the bargain here. He's building stuff, which is nice. But he's not expanding. He's not going to be useful here for very much longer. Dude, these Vikings are just having a great time. You know how many mutas there are in the field? Zero. Zero Mutalisks to deal with this. Transfuse is going to keep that Viper alive a little bit. Queen fighting one Viking down. Queen DPS not that good against Vikings, especially if they don't have any attack upgrades, which they do not. There are no missile attack upgrades at all. He got Adaptive Talons? Was he planning on going Lurker at some point? Or was that? No, that's Anabolic Synthesis. That is Anabolic Synthesis. Okay, so we got Ultra Speed. There we go. Ah, yes, we can see the trails that they leave when they're off creep. And on creep, too. That extra speed is nice. As it turns out, Bull is attacking in kind of by himself here. I don't know about this. Coming in behind. Oh, Lings are getting into the main base of Hero Sean. What is going on right now? This is not looking good for Team South at all. The Terran team is taking a lot of damage. Lings are inside their base. These are 3-3 Adrenal Gland crackling Lings. Bringing the whole army back. They were defending their bases that they were actually getting income from, which I can't really blame them for. But in the meantime, Hero Sean is going to get incredibly supply blocked here. He's already supply blocked. It's just going to get worse at this stage. The Marines can't really do anything about that. The Protoss army is standing in, actually taking Liberator shots. Marines fighting against them too, and the Protoss army is absolutely going to get cleaned up here, and it does. However, Hero Sean is incredibly supply blocked, only by about 10, I guess because of a lot of his army died there too. Ling Ultra, pretty good if there's really not the exact thing to deal with them there. I guess that's fairly similar for a lot of compositions in StarCraft 2. So the problem is for Team North is that Team Terran is everywhere right now. I don't know why he didn't just build here. I'm very confused by that. Ling's running into the natural base of Hero Sean. Bull's Zealot trying to get some stuff done here too. I mean, that's all that's really left of Bull's army at this stage. I really feel like Team South has this thing, despite the fact that we're watching his buildings die. Tanks attacking up, but no, Ultra's getting on top of the tanks when they're not sieged, which, you know what, is not bad for them generally, but they want the range when they're sieged is the thing here. Liberator's getting picked off by the handful of Stalkers that Bull has remaining here. It is 22 supply for Bull, 58 for Hero Sean, and it's 147 for Zergling Rush, 107 for Azul Squadron. Lings, Banelings, Ultra is going to defend their new source of income down here, fully saturating one of the extractors, but not the other ones. Again, just want to throw some appreciation out at how cool this extractor looks. It's nice. It reminds me of the 90s with purple and green, very shiny that way. Planetary Fortress gonna go down. Azul Squadron gonna lose yet another base there. Just too much Zerg for that one to stand, but still there's income over here. Income right now, 1,200, 1,100 for Team Red and Blue. 1,400, 500. How the heck does Bull have 500 income? I guess he's still mining a little bit from his main. Amazingly enough, there's 200 minerals on that mineral patch. And Hero Sean. Are these the Vespine Geysers are out? So it's these mining bases, these two mining bases, versus this mining base right now. And it's basically Zergling Rush trying to take on these two Terran players by himself. Which seems real difficult. He's making 8 Banelings. He's got Zerglings. He's got Ultralisks. He doesn't have anything to deal with Liberators. Literally nothing to do with Liberators. He had some Vipers, but they're all dead. I think the Vikings might have picked them off earlier. Zerglings coming around the left side, trying to get inside the main base. There are tanks defending here, though. Oh, nice lift. Nice lift on the supply depot, and the Lings are forced to retreat from that location. Taking another base is Zergling Rush, though. So these 2 bases that he has mining versus the 2 bases that are mining for Team Red and Team Blue. The thing is, he's got a 200 supply limit. A 200 supply limit, and he can't make 400 worth of units, is what I'm trying to say. Right? Right. Agile Squadron got some Liberators out because he recognizes there's nothing that can shoot up is the problem for Zergling Rush right now. And, I mean, Queen fighting. I do want to point out, though, that she does not have any attack upgrades at all. Some Corruptors on the way. A Dark Shrine on the way from Bull. When behind Dark Shrine is an absolutely true aphorism. And these Liberators can actually hide back here. Corruptor flies in, though, to fight against them. Liberator does not trade well, although a 2-to-1 situation is going to be okay, I think. Transfuse keeping that Corruptor alive, and I think this is going to shut this thing down. Yeah, I mean, it's probably too many Transfuses is overkill, but I guess the Queens have the energy for it. It's not that big of a deal. All right, so Terran Army looking pretty entrenched right now. They've got tanks, they've got Thors. Is it enough is the question. I don't see enough army supply here from Team Red and Team Blue. Part of that is that Hiro-shan is only at 93 total supply, 63 of which is workers at this stage. Are they heading on out? They're heading out, man. These Cracklings and these fully upgraded Ultras and Banelings are trying to get into a position where they can wreck these dudes. The Liberators are such a massive, massive problem, though. Vikings are out to deal with the Corruptors, too. Another Corruptor on the way. Now the tanks are in siege mode, but they have sieged away from the base, which is a major victory here for Zergling Rush. He needs to transfer his drones down to this base immediately, and he does, oversaturating it instantly here, coming right on in with the Ultras, with the Banelings, with the Corruptors. Can he actually wipe this out? It looks like he is. He's getting right on top of these tanks. The tanks are getting removed from the battle here. A Thor standing alone against a massive army of Zerglings and Ultralisks gets exploded, blackened for a second there. Vikings clearing out the Corruptors pretty nicely, but how many Liberators are left to defend this? I don't actually know. Production facilities going down here for Team Captain America right now. Lings getting on top of those Thors. Cracklings trade so well versus Thors. The Vikings are trying to do damage on the ground, but they're so bad against anything that is not mechanical. They have that bonus versus mechanical, but Ultralisks are not mechanical, even if they are mechanized or simulated Ultras, which sometimes happens with the skins. DT's wandering in now from Bull. Where's that Liberator? There's a Liberator. One Liberator did manage to get out, and there's nothing to stop it, and that actually stops the tide of Lings and Ultras coming through. Was that single Liberator. Stalkers wandering on in. Okay, Liberator down. Another Liberator needs to get focused down by these Stalkers, too. You cannot lose these Stalkers. They need to be alive right now. Ultras picking off Thors as they come out of their factories down here from Agile's base. Bam, another Thor down right now. It is 59 and 75 supply for Team South. 41 and 125 for Team North. Thor gets taken down. Liberator is your key. It is your thing, Bull. I don't know how Bull is still making stuff. He's probably getting money transferred to him from his opponent. He's being fed a little bit, because otherwise I don't know how he's pulling this off at all right now. Another Liberator kind of heading up right now. Actually, just, nope, hanging out and is now completely dead as the Stalkers take her down. I still don't know why this base didn't get fully taken. It really confuses me, but it's +1/+1 on the Stalkers, which is decent upgrades. Zergling Rush kind of hanging out until the Liberators are dead. Corruptors helping to fight with that one, too. And now the Lings and Ultras are coming to take down that planetary fortress. The income for Team Captain America is looking pretty abysmal right now. Lings are trying to fight. The SCV repair is real, though, but it's not enough. And that planetary fortress ends up going down, too. The income for Team Captain America is plummeting towards the zeros. Hiro-shan has left the game, and Bull and Zergling Rush are your winners in 28 minutes and 27 seconds. Whew. Hoorah! Impressive. Impressive 2v2 there. Really fun back and forth stuff. In the end, I think Zergling Rush was our MVP of the match. Able to expand everybody else, out-expand everybody else. 41,000 resources lost for him, which is more than anybody except for Agile Squadron, who lost a ton of tanks and lost a ton of Thors, which are not cheap. Not cheap to replace at all. But yeah, that came down to the wire, man. I mean, I guess Zergling Rush did have these 2 bases to pull from. That's enough to remax another army, but felt like it. I mean, Ultra's doing work. 16 kills, 10 kills, 11 kills, 8 kills, 6 kills. Some of these Zerglings in here doing some work too. Stalkers, 310. Somehow has 10,000 hit points. Hacks? Oh no, all the Zerg units do, I guess. Actually, all the Terran units do too. And the Ultras. Huh, that's a like weird end of game bug, I guess. I don't know why. I don't know why. So I like the strategy. I like what Terran was doing there with one player going mech, one player going bio, more standard stuff, doing drops, while just setting up a huge, scary mech army. The problem is it doesn't trade well versus Protoss. And they did try to keep the Protoss down. I mean, Bull had a third base for what felt like about 35 seconds. But in the end, he had enough. He was able to have enough to support Zergling Rush to get that win. And that is your win for Team Joker. All right, cool. Well, that is going to be it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of Mid-Rank Madness. If you'd like your game to be cast by Falcon Paladin and it is a Mid-Rank Madness, go ahead and send your email to me or your replay to me at falconpaladin@gmail.com. Make sure it is a platinum or a diamond level game. If it is not those, it's a different thing entirely. I'll send those to my screeners. The best ones will be chosen. And go ahead and hit that like button. Hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can catch me on Twitter, Facebook, and Patreon, all at /FalconPaladin, as well as Twitch, where I am playing StarCraft 2-3 times a week. And until next time, as always, thanks for listening and thanks for watching. And you take care of yourself.